If Formula One is a kingdom, then Mercedes was a dictator in its history, ruling a long period known as the Turbo Hybrid era, winning 8 consecutive Constructors' Championships. But with the 2022 major regulation changes, they lost the grip and slipped to the midfield, opening the doors for a new rivalry between prancing horses and Red Bulls. Since 2014, they always had a 100% complete championship-winning package at the beginning of each season, and which kept them in another league from their rivals. Now, they're being tested for the first time on how they're going to handle the pressure of not having a championship-winning package at the start of the season. During preseason testing, they used a body design with wider side pods like their rival teams, and suddenly they opted for a zero-pod body design, which was questioned by many Formula One pundits regarding its aerodynamic performances. But they were not wrong, and since the first race of the 2022 season, Mercedes was not among the top performers of every race weekend. The majority of rival teams were affected by the porpoising issue at the beginning, but they were solved to a greater extent when they came to Melbourne or Imola. Mercedes introduced several upgrades to their silver arrows, but nothing was capable of solving its problems up to a level where W13 is competitive enough to challenge the frontrunners. According to the latest statements by Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff, he chose an easy way for the Brackley-based team to escape out of their predicament, but they have not capitulated and taken it yet. Most probably, an observable upgrade to the Mercedes body design, especially to the side pods, will not be introduced during the Spanish GP for several reasons. The Spanish GP is scheduled to be held on the iconic racetrack Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, where the first preseason testing was held. W13 with wider side pods were used in this practice session, and it will be a direct comparison between the wider side pod and zero pod designs that are constantly questioned by Formula One pundits as a major issue in their W13. Then, Mercedes engineers will get an extra opportunity to decide whether the side pods have a direct effect on the porpoising issue. Commenting more about the porpoising issue and side pod design of the silver arrows, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff said, "Well, I wouldn't discount anything," he told, "but we need to give all of our people who have produced great race cars in the past the benefit of the doubt, and we believe this is the route to go down." Barcelona, the next race, is definitely going to be a point in time when we're able to correlate with what we've seen in February and gather more data. I'm also annoyed by always saying the same thing a lot, gathering data and making experiments, but it's physics and not mystics. The Mercedes Motorsport boss, Toto Wolff, still believes that old spec is much slower on paper. As a result, they'll stick with the new specification with zero pod design for the Spanish Grand Prix as well. "We're not looking at the lady next door and if we like it more or not, because it's still good," Wolff added. "As a matter of fact, we need to understand, before you make a decision to switch to another concept, where did this one go wrong? What is the goodness of the concept and what is the badness of the concept?" And that's a question you can only respond to yourself, but I would be asking ourselves to get an answer after Barcelona, because that's the real correlation we have. And by then, we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, did we get it wrong or not? Anyway, Toto Wolff's faith in exiting zero-pod body design is not wrong, as they show a huge improvement during the Miami Grand Prix with 5th and 6th place finish behind the Red Bull and Ferrari drivers. So they'll try to unlock the true potential of the car with the slight changes to the existing specifications, as huge changes to the body design, like side pods, will open some other unpredicted issues. Statistical analysis after the Spanish Grand Prix will open the opportunity for the Brackley-based team to decide whether they stick with the existing specifications or revert back to preseason wider side pods. "It's clear that there's potential in the car, which is fast," Wolff further commented about their W13, "but we just don't understand how to unlock the potential. It's a car that is super difficult to drive and, on the edge, dipping in and out of the performance window, more out than in. Everyone is talking about the side pods as it is the eye-catching thing that gives the alien appearance to the silver arrows in the grid. But is it the real course for porpoising? Porpoising is an aerodynamic issue of the car, and the side pod is only one fact among the number of factors that affects it. Side pods might not be the real cause for these bouncing problems. Even the majority guess it as the root of this issue. Both Red Bull and Ferrari also suffered greatly from the porpoising issue at the beginning of the season, even though they had wider side pod designs. Both Red Bull and Ferrari engineers were tactical in making slight adjustments to the other aerodynamic factors like floor design and riding height, without being hard on their sidepod designs. Red Bull Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey addressed the porpoising issue of the RB18 quickly and efficiently without losing the championship-winning opportunity for his team. Commenting about the porpoising problem, he said, "We knew it was a potential problem. With these regs, you could see that was a possibility, but whether they would and how you would model that was a difficulty. At the same time, we didn't find a way of modeling it properly. In principle, you could do it in the wind tunnel." Adrian Newey is someone experienced about F1 cars over decades, and he is the mastermind behind several championship-winning cars. So he knew it was coming and he had a plan for it. Newey didn't reveal the solution, but gave a hint for every F1 team to solve the problem. He hinted that there's more than one airflow under the floor, and that is important to make them work together to solve this issue. This is something that cannot be modeled in a wind tunnel and the area where other technical teams are blind. Ferrari seems to be the first team to try with this advice, as we saw a new floor design attached with the Carlos Sainz car during Imola GP. Finally, they brought the same upgrade to both cars for the Miami Grand Prix, solving the porpoising issue to a larger extent. Ferrari team first works with the riding height of the car by sacrificing theoretical downforce by the increased ride height. But that solution was not fit well with the Mercedes, as their power units lack extra power as Ferrari to sacrifice and couple with the downforce. Most probably now, they're going to make adjustments to the floor design as same as the two front running teams. I think there's an easy route, and you just say, "We are not able to generate it over the floor," and you patch it up. Make it stiffer and see where you end up in performance, said Wolff. That is probably faster than where we are at now, but we haven't yet capitulated and gone back to the simpler solutions. It seems to be Mercedes are focusing much on porpoising issue as it makes W13 undrivable for their drivers. Even they solve the porpoising issue. It is unclear whether they have enough pace to challenge the Ferrari or Red Bull, so the upgrades should also address the straight line speeds of W13 to remain competitive enough to F175 and RB18. Both the Mercedes drivers are a long way behind Leclerc and Verstappen, making the championship-winning possibility very small for them. Ferrari is currently without any issue, and unlucky crashes or tire blows are the only factors that keep them away from the championship. But RB18 is still showing some signs of reliability issues. They had to face several DNFs in the first few races, and Sergio Perez also lost the opportunity for a podium finish during Miami GP due to a technical issue. Any upgrades to the W13 should be quick and effective to stand away from other midfield teams like McLaren, Alfa Romeo, and Alpine. If it is not, they will have to experience what the Ferrari has experienced at the end of the 2020 season.